against the Chiefs. 4-1 in the regular season, 0-4 in the playoffs. What would another win over Mahomes mean for Josh Allen?
Absolutely, unequivocally nothing. And I can prove it to you. I'm going to show you guys an iconic moment of a defending MVP with all-time great for his sport, the best type of win you can have against the team that always beats them. Run the tape, Dust. Just do it. I mean, you're down 2, overtime. Steph Harden, bang! You guys remember that play? Of course not. You know why? Because he lost to him the previous year, that year, the year before, and the year after
Was
that.
it like a Christmas game?
This is a double overtime. James Harden Rockets as the defending MVP against the full strength Steph, KD, Klay Thompson Warriors, a three-pointer at the buzzer to cap off a 44-15, and none of us remember it. Because when you say Harden versus Curry or Harden versus those Rockets, you don't think, well, he did have some great regular season games, guys. It's that they played almost every year in the playoffs, and the same team won every single time. Now, this is what I will say, Brew. If Josh ever gets over the playoff hump, retroactively these games will matter.
Yeah.
You know what? Like if at the end of their careers, the playoff record is 5-2, Patrick.
Yeah.
And the regular season record is 5-2, Josh. Then it starts to have a little more meat to it. But as long as it's a bagel for Josh in the postseason, it's going to be hard to put real stakes for him in this game.
I agree with that. So I think when we're looking at the playoffs, even if they win, people are still, if they meet in the playoffs, you're still going to favor the Chiefs. Yes. But I do think, the more I think about this game, it does have big meaning for the Bills.
Oh, I agree with that.
Right? Because I think if they beat the Chiefs, they will solidify themselves as a legitimate Super Bowl contender. Because I won't say they have no chance to beat the Chiefs in the playoffs if they meet. If they lose to the Chiefs, I'll think about them what I thought last year. They're a good playoff team for sure. They're going to make the playoffs, but they're not going to get to the Super Bowl. They just don't have enough. So I think that's what I'm going to learn from this game because, look, the Chiefs, unlike a lot of the previous years, the Chiefs need this game to some degree for their playoff race. The Chiefs are not like overlooking this game. They never overlook the Bills. They
can't hold stuff back.
But yeah, they need to win this game. Yep. And the Chiefs are playing great football. They're playing their best football of the season.
Yep.
And so if the Bills can beat them with the Chiefs playing this well, you just got Wright back. They're going to try to keep working him in and getting him going. And so if the Bills can beat them and their defense can step up and slow down this Chiefs offense, that will say a lot to me because we've said it. They don't have really any great wins yet. This would be a great win and tell me, okay, they are a legitimate top-tier Super Bowl contender.
Yeah. I mean, Brew kind of stole my take. So I want to focus on what Nick had to say, really the framing of it all, because it's really kind of absurd. Because it's this constant Josh Allen over Mahomes, Mahomes over Josh Allen. And that conversation is exhausting. And how Nick's like, I can prove it by showing the James Harden versus Steph Curry when we have something like this, where Josh Allen against the Chiefs in the playoffs plays out of his mind. 65.2% completion percentage, 326.5 total yards per game, 11 touchdowns, 1 turnover, and 100.2 passer rating. It's not that Josh Allen can't beat the Chiefs. The fundamental problem are the Buffalo Bills. It's not that Josh Allen can't beat Mahomes. That's the annoying thing that's always twisted in this conversation. And so I do agree in a vacuum that this game, what does it mean if Josh Allen, if the Buffalo Bills beat the Chiefs on Sunday, what does it mean? I agree that it means absolutely nothing for their legacy conversations and discussions. But this game is all about the Bills and the Chiefs, not Mahomes and Josh Allen. And it's so tough because for the first time in a long time, and quite some time I should say, this game really does have true implications for both teams. Like it matters. They're both not even leading in their division. Like their playoff standings are in jeopardy, let's say. Not necessarily of not making it, although you could make the argument that the Chiefs, are in that jeopardy. I don't see that being the case, but you could make at least the mathematical argument that is the case. And the Bills are actually like in a legitimate race to try to win the division. That this game like matters more than it really, really has in the past. Last year the Chiefs were undefeated, and yeah, the Bills were playing well, but like it's not they weren't this unstoppable force at that time necessarily. I think they had already got blown out by the Ravens. I'm not sure if they already had that weird game against the Texans. Like no one saw them as this like unstoppable juggernaut, and it was just like, man, if they lose to the Chiefs, it's proof that they just can't get past the Chiefs. Like, and by the Bills beating the Chiefs, the undefeated team, it was just kind of like, you were just trying to have all these narratives. Whereas with this conversation, it's not narrative based. It's just the Bills need this win. Just like the Eagles really need to beat the Giants. It wasn't like a narrative. It was like, no, the Eagles need this win because they've lost 2 games in a row. Like the Bills going up against the Panthers. It's like not a narrative like, oh, do they need a big win to prove they can do it? No, they actually just really need a win right now. Like that's just what they need. And it is interesting when we can kind of cut through the narratives. But when we have obviously such huge quarterbacks like Mahomes and Josh Allen, everyone always just wants to go to the narrative. And I agree with what Brew is saying, because right now I feel like the Chiefs have the better team. They have the better defense. They have the better offensive production. Like they have the better coaching staff. I mean, they've always had that. And so the Bills are not. And the Bills, I have real question marks about them this season. Real question marks. And going up against the Chiefs right now, if they just contend, if it just feels like this is a game and you don't get the sense of like, man, the Chiefs controlled this game the entire time, to me, that would be a massive win for the Bills, because then it would be like, okay, they're a lot more resilient than I'm thinking that they are. They're better than I think they are. Or it comes down to the fact that these two teams just always rise to the occasion when they play each other. No matter what their roster looks like, no matter what the injuries are, they rise to the occasion and step up and make it happen. And it's just interesting to me. The Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, when going up against each other, they really do, man. They do always show up. They always show up. And I get actually a bit of angst for the moment that they don't, because I do think it's possible that the Chiefs could win big here, and then it's just going to be too much. Then, just before you know it, in the blink of the eye, Josh Allen and the Bills are down 14, and then it just leaves Josh Allen on an island where he has to try to make plays, and, it just becomes too much, and then there's just nowhere to go. They abandon the run, and, everything just gets stacked against him and the Bills for that matter. Or it's, a back and forth close game, and then it's just, in a typical Bills Chiefs fashion. But I was talking about this on the live stream for the Dolphins and the Ravens game, that like, there's other games that you're expecting are going to be like this fun back and forth or interesting. Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, Dak and Jalen, and Goff and Love, and like they don't always answer. Most of the time they don't. Like it's not the game that you would hope it to be. They don't answer that call. And obviously you were excited for the new young quarterbacks, Caleb versus Jaden. Like, let's give us something interesting. And it's like Caleb didn't play that well. Jaden played okay-ish. Like he had a crucial fumble. Like it was just like And even when Josh Allen and Mahomes play each other, I think they both had an interception that game last season, if memory serves me correctly. I think Mahomes threw a really bad interception, and I think Josh Allen threw a bad interception, I think. But yet, like, it was still great games. Like, it was still high quality ball, all hands on deck. The feeling of like, man, do the Buffalo Bills go for it on 4th down? And they, and you're just like, do you want to kick the field goal here? Or do you want to give the ball back to Mahomes? Like, you could feel the angst, you could feel the intensity. Josh Allen keeps it himself, takes it in for a touchdown. Like, like you could feel that moment. You could feel that intensity. And it was exciting. It was interesting. It mattered, like I said, from a narrative standpoint, but beyond that, nothing else necessarily. Trying to spoil the Chiefs being undefeated and all of that. It's just, this game has real, like, it doesn't matter about those moments. It doesn't matter about what the final score is. It's just like, do you come away with a win? Do you keep up? Can the Bills say to the Chiefs, because there's a lot of people that believe that the Chiefs really aren't as good as other people think they are. That, like, it's just because you got Rice and Xavier Worthy back, like, who have you beaten? You haven't really beaten any good teams. And it's kind of interesting because people say that about the Bills. They haven't really beaten any good teams. And then it's just like, okay, so then if the Chiefs beat the Bills, it's like, well, then they still haven't beaten a good team, I guess. And if the Bills beat the Chiefs, it's like, okay, well, then I guess they haven't beaten a good team, I guess. So, like, that's kind of sometimes the tricky part with narratives. Like, you can write the narrative in so many different ways. So I'm actually kind of excited that this game, it just actually matters from a pure football perspective. It doesn't matter from anything else. So, like, I don't feel the need to engage in the, well, actually, if Mahomes, if Josh Allen beats him in the playoffs retroactively, these games look a lot better because of the, it's just like, it actually doesn't matter. For the first time in a long time, we don't need any narrative to guide us in this game, even though they are going to push that again and again and again and again. And the broadcast, I'm sure I'm going to be pretty burned out by it, honestly, because they're just going to keep showing us Josh Allen, Mahomes. They're going to show us these numbers. They're going to show the head-to-head. They're going to show the moments in the playoffs, the regular season games. And, like, I get why they do it, and it's fine. I'm all for it to a degree. But, like, this game ultimately is about the Bills versus the Chiefs. Have the Bills turned the corner? Have the Chiefs turned the corner? Like, how do they fare against each other? This will absolutely positively be each team's most important barometer game of who are you this season? Who are you this season? Who is Mahomes with this version of Kelsey, with Rice, with Xavier Worthy? Who is the Kansas City Chiefs defense going up against Josh Allen? What does this offense look like now? This offense hasn't been great for the Buffalo Bills. How does it fare against the Kansas City Chiefs? Your defense has been struggling a little bit. How does it fare against the Kansas City Chiefs, right? Like, this is the ultimate barometer game for each other, and there's no other more important barometer game for both of these teams against each other. So, like, it's not a matter of, can Josh Allen prove that he can outduel Patrick Mahomes? Like, it's never, ever, ever been about that, ever. So it's not going to be about that now either. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen? Do you think this game means anything for Josh Allen, Mahomes, and that whole never-ending narrative? And how do you feel about this game just in general? Who you got, Bills, Chiefs? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.